Unexpectedly sexy.
I know that's kind of a weird name. You're probably wondering what the heck does that mean?
I'm still figuring it out myself.
I came up with this idea, honestly, earlier today. And I was just thinking like, you know what? There's fragrances that affect you in a way that you would not expect because of, you know, how they generally smell or how they look on paper. When you look at the notes, you wouldn't expect these kinds of accords that come together to affect you in a way where you are lured by a scent. So Grace and I have curated a list of some of our favorite unexpectedly sexy fragrances to smell on each other. So we have basically 5 from me, 5 from Grace, but we have 11 fragrances to talk about. So we're gonna get through them as quickly as we can. Ready?
Ready.
No particular order. This is a fragrance that Grace wears more often, but I love it too. But this is from BDK, it's called Gris Charnel. A lot of you know this one already. And so what I'd love for you to do is to describe this scent a bit, and then I'm gonna kind of describe how it comes off when you wear it.
Okay. It smells kind of warm. It almost is a little coconutty in a way.
It is. There's that cream.
And then, yeah, very creamy. And then it, on my skin, it dries down to just like almost like a dry sandalwood by the end of the day, but it's very warm. It's very sexy. Yeah, I love it.
I mean,
I've gotten compliments wearing it.
Yes, and they come from me as well. I think what really does it for me when you wear this is that fig. There's a juicy fig that is made almost tropical and creamy, but then the sandalwood adds this dustiness to it. And that texture is
irresistible.
It's rough, just enough roughness to a very smooth and pleasant scent that makes it very alluring, at least to me. The X-ray version is also very good.
Yeah.
I think some people might find that a little bit more masculine, has more sandalwood in it, so it's even dustier in a way. But this is like the version for the summertime. It still works great in the summer, even though it is pretty thick. But very sexy stuff, unexpectedly. So next up is a fragrance I love to wear, and I've been trying to urge many of you to wear it. I've had some of you guys buy it and tell me it smells like Wendy's barbecue sauce. Which is, if you missed that video, check it out here. You'll see it was hilarious. But this is from Cartier. This is called Déclaration d'un Soir. One of the classiest rose fragrances a man can wear, I think. There's something so handsome about it. It is spicy, it is fresh, kind of green, but it has this very, very prominent, slightly sweet rose. And it's a little bit jammy. There's a little bit of a thickness to it, but it's mostly fresh. And it's woody as well, and it just comes off as something that you would wear in the evening. I think the name is perfect. You dress it up in darker colors at night, and it is beautiful, but there's still a masculinity to it, in my opinion. But what do you find, I guess, sexy about it?
You wore this when we were out to dinner one night. It was like a nice warm summer evening. I don't think I'd really smelled it before, or I definitely don't think I'd smelled it on you. I love rose in fragrances, but it was such a warm, classy, it wasn't overly sweet, it wasn't feminine. Don't be scared away by a floral note in something. It just was so sexy. And no, I would feel that way, but I did.
And you know, and I think it just speaks to a lot of women find florals to be pretty sexy on men, more than men would think. But this is one that, if you're not sure, you can get away with this one.
It's safe. It's
not. It's a safer one. Now, it is quite a unique scent, and not everyone's gonna love it. Obviously, someone said it smelled like Wendy's to them. But as far as florals go that are marketed to men, this is one of them. So if you do go by the designations, then yeah, you're gonna find this in the men's section, and you can rest assured knowing you're buying a men's fragrance.
I think that a floral done right doesn't smell to anyone as a flower. It's gonna smell classy, it's gonna smell elegant, it's gonna smell timeless. You're gonna smell just like such a gentleman. So
couldn't have said it better. Moving on.
So this is from Argos. This is called Pallas Athene. More of a classic feminine profile, I would say. It's very fruity. It is a little bit more floral. It's kind of fresh in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bouquet of florals. There's rose in there, there's hyacinth, there's some red berries in there, I think, that give it the fruitiness, but not overly sweet fruity. It's a kind of a tart berry, but it does have a robust base. There's like vetiver and patchouli and sandalwood and things in there. What I find so sexy about this is its strength, when you wear this, it just leaves a trail. It fills the room, very, very unapologetic in terms of performance. So if you're looking for that, you'll find it here, as with most of Argos's fragrances. And I think there's a touch of vanilla in there that I don't think he lists, but he did tell me that he put a little bit of vanilla that kind of gives it this creaminess that makes it so thick and makes it hang in the air. So yes, it is florals, yes, it is fruits, but it has this heart and this base that kind of makes your eyes open up wide, and it's intoxicating.
So I need to wear this one.
Yes,
more.
wear it more, wear it more. Ladies, this is great, but guys, you can wear it too. But do keep in mind, I would say that aside from the Parfum, this is probably his most feminine leaning fragrance in the collection, but it is technically unisex. So do get a sample, get their discovery set. You can check out all 8 fragrances. Use the code FRESH10, save you some money. Anyway, moving on.
All right, so this is a black-owned brand called Mossy, and this is their fragrance Into Me, and it is honestly stunning. I love it.
They have 2. In fact, this is the For Him. I've talked about this one before. If you guys remember a video I talked about with long-lasting fragrances, I did that recently. You can check it out here if you missed it. I previewed this and I said I'm going to talk about this later with Grace because there's something really special about it. It surprised me in several ways, but one of the ways is that not only to me but to Grace, at least my experience with the For Him, is that it is sexy. Now, it is an everyday scent. I'd say both of these are everyday fragrances. They're made so that you can wear them for any occasion, any time of the year. They're very versatile, and they're made in such a way where they are going to smell stereotypically feminine, stereotypically masculine. They're going to have those characteristics that you would expect from a man's or a woman's fragrance. So for instance, with the woman's, florals and fruits are going to dominate, but similar to the Argos, there's a thickness here. It is white florals, which Grace is not typically a fan of, but I do think they balanced it well with the fruits.
Yeah.
There's that sweet juiciness in there that offsets the powderiness of the white florals, and the whole profile comes together very thick and quite strong. Very easy to spray too much of this. I'm warning you, you might choke people out.
I just sprayed like 1 spray on my arm for the day, and I could smell it just throughout the air all day, and it was amazing. It smelled so good, but
Yes,
yeah,
it fills up
probably 2 sprays, maybe 3
max, I would say. And in the winter, you can maybe spray a little bit more.
But especially for the summer.
Yeah, in the summer, 2 to 3 is fine. It will radiate. It just simply smells beautiful. It's not gonna smell completely unique or completely unlike anything you've ever smelled before. It's gonna remind you, again, of that characteristic profile for women. But the quality is fantastic. And again, the way it hangs in the air, it is alluring. I do think they did the same thing for the men's. Very fresh, a little bit aquatic in a way, a little bit salty, but it does have this slight fruitiness, and it does have this muskiness, and that muskiness really surprised me. I did the same thing. I put it on my arm, and I kept catching whiffs. I'm like, this stuff is really sexy.
So good.
And then I had her try, and she's like,
Oh my gosh.
and this stuff was lasting like 8 to 10 hours on me, which I did not expect from a fresh scent. So obviously, as you can see, great things all around with Mossy. If we're talking about scent, quality, talking about performance, it's all here. So we're gonna have them linked down below. Do check them out.
Yeah.
Sexy stuff. Did not expect it.
All right, so this is actually so funny. This one was so surprising. If you saw our original introduction to Creed's Viking Cologne, it had not yet fully macerated.
Yeah.
So it was not the full expression of the scent. We both hated it. I hated it. You
She
can
may have
see
hated
my
it a little bit
reaction
more.
in the video. I was like, don't wear this around me. And then, you know, a few months passed. Essentially, the molecules, fragrant molecules, were allowed to fully macerate, and we got the fullest expression of the scent, and now I love it. It smells amazing. It doesn't smell anything like it did when it wasn't fully opened, and now it's spicy, it's fresh, it's sexy, and it's amazing.
And we both already love the original Viking, which I think is pretty sexy. I do think this modernizes the original a little bit. The original can come off a little bit dated to some. Some people say it smells like Old Spice. This kind of does away with that feeling. It is almost a barbershop kind of fougere feel. It is very aromatic, it's very citrusy, it is very spicy and woody, but there's a bit of magic in here. It's hard to describe. And the funny thing about it is that it is the element that was once kind of nasty smelling before it macerated. There's almost this kind of dirty water feel, or even like a, on the opposite end, which is so ironic, like a toilet cleaner feel. And it sounds weird, but it's still kind of here, but it like changed till now it's pleasant, and it actually gives character to the scent. It makes it kind of sexy. It's more than just an aromatic, citrusy fragrance that's woody. There's more to it than that. It has something special. So we're really happy with how this changed. I feel silly for what I was saying, you know, like last year about how it's like dirty dishwater. Actually, you were saying that.
I'm sorry.
But here, we came back around to it. I'm glad we did. I can easily recommend getting a sample of this stuff. Surprisingly sexy.
It's a good thing to keep in mind. I know Justin recently did a video about fragrances on skin, but there are so many variables when it comes to how a fragrance performs. So just because you tried it once and you didn't like it, maybe give it another go. It could have been it was a really hot day and it needs to be worn in cooler weather. It could have been, you
maybe
know,
you put on too much, maybe too little.
Yeah, so there's just, especially with skin and the body, there's just so many things that could change how a fragrance lives on you or how it smells in the air around you. One and done isn't necessarily a
give
great...
it a shot. Give it more of a shot. Obviously, that being said, you don't have to force it. If you've tried it 15 times over the course of the year and it's not working, then maybe it's just not working, at least at the moment. Maybe in a year or two, your taste will change. But we do urge you, like, give it some time. Don't just like, oh, it sucks, I'm not doing it. I hated it the first time, so it's a no-go. I know a lot of you guys did that with Gucci Guilty Absolute, which I still need to get you to come around to that. When the fall comes, we will get her on.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I keep coming back around, keep trying things again.
Yes, and it's changing. It's actually making a difference. Our next fragrance up is Santal Complet from Fragrance du Bois. This is one that men and women can wear, but Grace wears it more than I do. The dent that you kind of see here is her, mainly just in the last month and a half or so. She's been reaching for this as a bit of a signature, I would say.
It's so good.
It is. I feel like it's, again, it comes off, at least on paper, in a way where you're like, I don't know if this would be necessarily that sexy. Super pleasant for sure. It is sweet, it's creamy vanilla, so it's kind of beachy in a way, but not overly suntan lotiony, and then obviously per the name, a lot of sandalwood. So there is that smooth woodiness, but when she wears this stuff and it's in the air, it's in her hair, so then she whips her hair a little bit, I'm just like, Santal Complet. It's unmistakable.
What is your
experience?
To me, it smells like this nutty, warm vanilla, coconut, but with that sandalwood is so creamy and gives it kind of that base. It grounds it. It's not this like airy coconut. It's kind of earthy in a way, but it just smells so nutty and good. I can't get enough of it. To me, it's like that sun warm skin smell, and just is so delicious.
It's rich, but still something that's kind of versatile. You could wear it almost any time, and definitely sexy. That's Santal Complet. Okay, up next is one I'm actually wearing today. This is Scandal from Roja Parfums. This is the Parfum Cologne version of it, and there is a Parfum version of it, which I also have, and that one is fantastic. But this one I think is best for the summertime. It is made to be a little bit brighter and fresher. Now, this is technically a fougere. It is slightly old school leaning, soapy, clean, fresh barbershop type of scent. Something you would expect to smell like coming out of the barbershop, fresh haircut, fresh shave, you know, you're dressed to the nines, whatever it is, and this is the vibe. But Roja has done something special here by putting in some elements that make it a little polarizing. It's a little bit animalic in a way. There's a funkiness to it that can rub some people the wrong way, but for those who can appreciate it, I think it's utterly sexy.
So
that is
sexy.
The X factor.
Yeah.
What is your experience
smelling
it?
Exactly what you're saying. It has this really nice, soapy, fresh top, but then it has a spiciness and a little bit of an edge, which I find incredibly sexy. You want your fresh fragrances to also, I think, have a little bit of a punch. I appreciate that.
It just gives it more personality.
Sexy.
You know, they don't all have to be super interesting like this, but every now and then, it's like, I can easily wear this as a fresh scent, but I can know that it's gonna have a little bit of extra to it. And it's special. It's been in the air all afternoon, and I've been loving it.
Smells amazing.
It smells awesome.
Yeah.
I've been talking about this one for years. This was a love at first sniff. You've seen some of my videos several years ago where I would smell this on camera and I would like lose it. Those are some of the funnest edits I've done to date. Anyway, that is Scandal. Do check it out. Get you a sample. I know they have it at DKNX. I just referred a friend of mine to get this exact one at DKNX. Use the code STAYFRESH15, save you some money. Anyway, moving on.
For those of you that have watched this channel, you will know this fragrance from Zaharolt, Signature Rosé. It is one of my absolute favorites. It's an amazing reach, honestly, year round. You can wear it in the summer, you can wear it in the winter. It's such a beautiful blend of 3 very rare, very expensive, different rose. There's also incense in there as well, and it's so sexy. It's so unique. It doesn't smell like anything else. It's kind of chocolatey and smooth and just has this beautiful presence.
It has a number of elements to it all coming together. Rose incense definitely being the primary combination here, making it kind of a wispy, airy rose. Even a little bit fresh, but still has a lot of body to it. This is Grace's bottle, by the way. I have my own. This is hers, so this dent is all her. She wears this scent more than I do, generally. I love it too. I really love it too. And it wears a little differently on me, but on her, the way that the rose and the incense and even a little bit of the oud comes in, and there's some vanilla in there, it all plays on the skin in a very kind of exotic way, and just smells incredible in the air, and I do find it very alluring. So as a rose fragrance goes, as I like to say, this is one of the best.
I think
one
so
of the
too.
best you can get in terms of quality, in terms of scent profile. It is unique, as you said. It smells like nothing else out there. Do check out Signature Rosé. We're gonna have links down below. Up next, one of the most unexpectedly sexy fragrances I'd say on the list, easily, because this is one that a lot of people kind of hate. I did recently do a video with my friends, Andrea and Ross and Anthony, and Ross found it interesting. Anthony and Andrea
did not
find it interesting. I'll just say that. You should check out the video. I'll have it linked. This is Ganymede.
This is, I would say, one of the staples of Justin's channel. It's one he comes back to. It's one that he's worn several times. I love it so much because of also the familiarity. It's on his skin, it's just so sexy. It's kind of fresh, and it also has a little bit of like this metallic edge, but it doesn't smell metallic on his skin. It just smells like
kind of a warm minerally feel.
Sexy. Good smell.
Musky, suede, minerally, a little leathery from the saffron as well. It is kind of a strange scent, mainly because of the immortelle, and that makes it smell like curry to a lot of people. So if you don't like that smell, you're not gonna like the scent. Now, who wants to smell like curry? That's the real question. I don't know, you be the judge. But to me, it doesn't smell like curry, even though I know what curry smells like. It smells like, I always say, stepping into a luxury vehicle. That leather seats and a little bit metallic and everything, but the way it wears on the skin, I do agree. There's something that when it actually reacts with your skin, it gets really sexy. That metallic leathery combo, it's smooth, and it's all actually very powerful.
And to me, that kind of leathery, metallic almost smells lemony. Like it smells a little bit citrusy in a way, more than metallic. I would say I get more of like a brightness. It's almost like a cleanness.
Interesting.
And so I love it.
Okay. I've been talking about it, and we'll keep talking about it. That is Ganymede. Some of you guys have been sleeping on it. Some of you guys have tried it and loved it. Some have tried it and hated it. Nonetheless, if you have a sample, hold on to it. Come back to it in 6 months. Moving on. All right, so final fragrance here. This is one that we both love to wear, and this might be unexpected for the ladies because Grace goes goo-goo and gaga for this fragrance, whether I'm wearing it or whether she's wearing it.
I love it so much.
And this is Boundless from Bois. Not technically a masculine release, but the profile, which is very tobacco heavy. There's a lot of tobacco, a lot of blood orange, maybe some resins in there. It is dark, resinous, kind of dirty, earthy in a way, sharp, warm, spicy.
Warm and spicy.
Warm and spicy, very much for the fall. And again, most people would maybe associate it with men, but this is a profile that when she puts this on, and I catch it either at the beginning of the day or the end of the day if she comes back from work, and I'm just like, oh, you wore it. You wore Boundless. And it stays on the skin all day, and it just gets better and better. It's not something that everyone's gonna love.
I love it.
Yeah.
I really appreciate like a spicier, richer, a little bit darker
Yes.
fragrance, but it doesn't live heavy
Yeah.
on the skin to me. It lives more cozy, kind of spicy way. And it doesn't feel like a challenge to wear it. So if you've been wanting to try something a little bit maybe out of the box, if you've, especially for the ladies or for the men, if you've been like staying away from anything that's too tobacco heavy. I also don't feel like it smells overly tobacco-y either. It's just really well blended and awesome.
Also has this beautiful bourbon vanilla note, so it's almost boozy, especially when you first spray it on. It's incredible, beautifully
so
blended,
good.
and one that obviously men and women can enjoy. Ladies, you might have to open your mind a little bit if you don't know if you love tobacco or like rougher, darker, earthier scents, but I do recommend checking it out. Definitely sexy in a way you would not expect. That is Boundless from Bois.
We made it.
We made it. It felt like a lot.
So
That's gonna do it for us. Let us know if you've tried any of these fragrances. Let us know if you find any of these sexy like we do. If not, that's fine. This is a subjective hobby and that's what makes it beautiful. But we want to thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. See you in the next one.